A very good afternoon to you, our cherished listeners. It's indeed always exciting to come your way every Wednesday with your favorite business development program on Radio Masterclass. Masterclass comes your way every Wednesday at 1:15 p.m. and runs all the way through to 2 p.m. here on your superstation Joy 99.7. Masterclass is powered by Joy Business and is brought to us by Goyle. Goyle, they say good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. It's the 4th of March today. Ghana Month is being celebrated here on Joy FM, as well as Arrive Alive campaign, and also 25 years of celebrating media excellence. So there's a lot going on here on Joy FM in this month. We've been talking about emotional intelligence here on the show, sharing some thoughts with Mr. James Addison in the past couple of weeks. And like I mentioned, in these 2 weeks coming in the show, starting from today, we are going to have the privilege of being joined in the studio by some of our listeners. So we're going to have an in-house, or should I say, in-studio guest today on the show. I'll be introducing this person shortly. But like we always say here on the show, gather your thoughts. We'll be opening the phone lines a bit earlier today. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to be able to allow you to ask a lot more questions, because we find that when we get interactive, then we're able to help people answer their questions. Like we've always said here on the show, we put this show together so that it can address the concerns we have in business today. We want to grow Ghanaian businesses. We want to be able to help made in Ghana products. We want to be able to help people who want to go out there and create jobs for themselves, so that you're not waiting to be employed, but you are going to become an employer who's going to employ other people and create value in our country, Ghana. If a lot more people are working here in this country and own their own businesses, then Ghana is definitely going to become better for it. So we're going to go straight to our discussion today, but like I always say here on the show, we always want to be able to practicalize the things that we learn here on the show. So I'm going to be asking Mr. Addison one of the other things he saw in this week where emotional intelligence was displayed. But before I do that, we're privileged today to be joined in a studio by an in-studio guest, one of our ardent listeners, who's also the CEO of Nelvix Business Dialogues Consult. She's been doing a lot of work with business startups. She has over 1,000 business startups under her umbrella, and she'll be sharing some thoughts with us today. Obviously, she's also a listener, ardent listener of Masterclass, and she's in the person of Sabina Ikuya Sefako. Sabina, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So I'm excited that you're here. So obviously I'm going to get the professional angle from Ms. Addison today, and we're going to get from the other side also. You're in business. You are practicalizing the things he's talking about. So at some point, we'll also give you a few minutes to share thoughts with us. How practical is it? Because not all of our listeners are able to get through with their phone calls or the comments. But you are here in the studio and you're going to be sharing some thoughts with us also on how practical these things are. You have interfaced over hundreds of people who want to start businesses. Some are successful, some are not. And I must say you're doing very well. Because there are corporates who are doing this also as part of the CSR. We have the KIC Agritech Challenge, who are friends of Masterclass, and they've been sending the entrepreneurs here. Some other OMCs, I don't want to give them free airtime, are also doing a lot of work in that area, where they help and put people together, and they run like a 10-month challenge, and they give them funding, and when they come out, they're able to set up their own businesses. So we're building Ghana together here on the show on Masterclass. So I'm excited that you're here. Once again, you're welcome to the show.
Thank you
right.
very much.
So Ms. Addison, here's what we're going to do. We're going to narrow down our conversation today, like we said last week. Last week, I think we continued the conversation on listening, empathetic listening. Today, we're going to be looking at another area of being assertive vis-a-vis being aggressive, and how emotional intelligence is displayed within that space. Most often, people confuse the two, and so you find that when people, by their temperament, are not necessarily extroverts, or not necessarily sanguine, or whichever you want to call it, outgoing, then when they want to be able to express their displeasure about an issue or express strong opinion, then they tend to go overboard with it because it's not natural to them. So you're going to be sharing thoughts with us today about the difference between being assertive and the expression of emotional intelligence within that space vis-a-vis being aggressive. And at some point we'll open the phone lines, and then our listeners can definitely be a part of it. If you just tuned in, this is Masterclass right here on your superstation Joy 99.7. So Ms. Addison, let's start with that conversation. At some point I'll come to Sabina, and then we'll share some thoughts together. Yes?
Good.
All right.
Thank you very much for the opportunity once again. And we are happy to be continuing in this month of March, which is a Ghana's month. And
Ghana month here at Joy FM.
And I'm a March born too.
Okay. Oh, you were born in March?
Yeah, I was born in March.
Okay,
29th of March.
29th of March.
The president.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you just speak up for me a bit, yes.
Good.
What we're going to do, if there's some time on the show and my producer allows me, we'll play a Ghana song for you.
That's good.
In celebration of your birthday.
Yeah,
Savannah, you were not born in March, were you?
No.
Okay. So it's a double whammy today.
And surprisingly, I celebrate my this thing with the president, the sitting president.
Wow.
Yeah, 29th of March.
Hey, then we should
So
expect
maybe,
we should expect some birthday gifts from the presidency.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope the chief of staff is listening.
Yes.
Okay, right. Take us away.
Thank you very much. Let me give a shout out to my Mrs. Gilbertson.
Okay.
Is my landlady, and she's been listening to us with her friends from Rich Church.
I hope she calls in today when we open the phone.
Yes. And then
that'll be wonderful.
The director and the deputy director for education, Ewutu Senya, all of them are tuning now.
Wow.
And they are listening to us.
Thank you for listening to Masterclass.
Yes, a special mention to Madam Eva Jena Bediako, Deputy Director.
Okay.
They are listening to us.
Right.
Now, today I decided that we look at assertiveness. Last week we looked at listening. Now, after you've listening, there is the need for you to speak at a point in time. Now, the way you may present your vision, your ideas, beliefs, and assumptions is likely to get you the support you need as a leader, as an entrepreneur, or not to get you that support. And that is the more reason why I want us to look at assertiveness. And it's also a challenge at the workplace, because the workplace experiences more of a bullying and intimidating sort of relationship more than the assertiveness. And I want to put on record that assertiveness is the new aggressiveness, that we need to be assertively aggressive. Now, what do you mean by being assertive? This is one's ability to communicate three things here clearly, specifically, and without ambiguity, whilst at the same time being sensitive to the needs and emotions of others. Now, there are three components that I want us to quickly have a look at. There are three components in this definition of assertiveness. The first one is the ability to express one's feelings. It is also the ability to express your thoughts and beliefs. Now, the third one is the ability to stand on your grounds, even if people pull in resistance. These three components harness in a very conducive way will ensure that the leader attain that status of being assertive rather than bullying. Now, if success could be defined as achieving what we set out to achieve, then I don't think I will be at fault if I say that most of the time successful leaders, successful entrepreneurs are most of the time very assertive. Why? Because these people will have the ability to tell others what they want. Now, they tell others what they believe in. They are also able to express their feelings clear, without ambiguity, in a way, and they still consider what? They still consider and respect other people's opinion. They stand on their grounds when others offer resistance, and they express their views and beliefs freely and directly, and they do so without being aggressive or abusive. Now, I want us to put on record that assertiveness should not be misunderstood to be loud or pushy. And assertiveness should not also be equated to aggressive conduct. These are two things that I want us to be a bit clear on that. Now, how do we build assertiveness? If you have taken notice from the past, last month, I always go back to how to build, because I made people aware that emotional intelligence that we're talking about is learnable, is teachable. That means we can build it over a period of time. And we have been doing this for the past 4 to 5 years, helping others to build the relevant emotional intelligence skills. So how do you then become assertive? Now, the first aspect is that be sure and clear in your mind what you want to achieve. Now, when I say be sure, it's not ordinary word ensure. Like you want people to get to Kumasi and you're giving them 2 gallons of fuel. I would say you are not sure, or you are not clear in your mind what you want to achieve. Because 2 gallons of fuel will not take anybody to Kumasi. So when I said be sure, an assertive leader, the very first point of being assertive is to be sure. Technically, what you want to achieve, do you know what goes into it? Financially, are you ready? In all other resources, are they available for you to achieve the target? Right. It's very, very important that you look at this. I'm not saying that you should be expert in all those areas, but if you are not even an expert, do you have the relevant people with that expertise that have made the data and information available to you to be able to achieve what you are aspiring to do? Now, you must also express your feelings and thoughts and beliefs in an appropriate manner. Whatever you believe in, whatever you want to share, must be shared appropriately. Look at the timing. Look at the situation. Look at the how. Look at the when. All these things are very, very important in your bid to be very assertive. For instance, if you need to meet a target, right, and maybe the general manager or the vice president was supposed to get the data on Friday, so you have teamed out with your team to get it to you by Thursday, and then the vice president calls you that I need it on Friday. That means you're going to work with your people to meet these changing differences. That means to be very assertive, then you must be prepared to put at the people's disposal, the stakeholders' disposal, details of what have necessitated the change. Most of the time, because of the time and because of the other pressures and the schedules, those kind of things, we are not able to explain to our subordinates what has really necessitated that change. And people will resist change in any form. Even change that is good for people is likely to be resisted if it is not well explained to their understanding. So one of the ways to be assertive or to build assertiveness is to ensure that you've really explained in detail what might have necessitated the change, because any resistance might have come as a result of unknown change that is being introduced. The other thing to do is to make sure that feedback is delivered appropriately. Now, we are all learning, and as a leader, you need to make sure that your feedback gets to people to motivate them, not to demotivate them. Now, since people are learning, people will be very happy to have what we call the effective sort of feedback, a feedback that seeks to understand them, that seeks to identify the shortcomings, and that seeks to provide a support to overcome those shortcomings. These ones are very important for anybody or any leader that want to assert. Now, we also need to assert what our body language is, the tone, the eye contact. You get my point, the voice, the tonation. You can't go to people shouting all over and telling us that you are asserting. No. You must assert by being appropriate with the body and whatever goes with it. Now, as I've said already, there's the need for us to provide a serious feedback in a very nice way. Now, what then are the importance of assertiveness to building a business? You know, in business, we don't do business alone. That is why we're doing the dynamics in emotional intelligence. We've looked at empathy as a way of connecting. We've looked at listening as a way of connecting. We are now looking at you conveying your ideas and how appropriate is that. Now, all these people, when they are properly managed, first and foremost, their social contract is well established. That means they are valued and understood. They are admired. Then it means you're going to get the support of these people to deliver whatever you want to deliver. So it's a very important advantage to every leader that is asserting, that will also make sure that his business stands the test of time, is to ensure that he gets what we call constructive compromise. Right? This is the win-win situation we're talking about. As a leader, as soon as you assume leadership and you have the title leader, it means there are other people who are also supposed to do something to help you. And one of the ways to get the support and commitment of these people is to ensure that you assert your way through. And that is the best way to get their support. Now, it's also ensure collaboration. Now, when you assert very well, you get the needed support and the collaboration from your people, because you will speak to them, convey your ideas without being abusive. You convey your ideas having in mind that they also have, as a human being, will have some objections, which you still respect them. But because you know what you want to achieve, there is a way to push people around, not in an abusive way, but to help you achieve whatever is in your head. It's one of the ways of getting a collaboration from your people. It's also a way to maintain a very good relationship, because any leader that has said very well ensure that feedbacks are given at appropriate time. And the feedback can simply be patting the person at the back, saying, "Hi, I trust you. You delivered last semester. You delivered last month. I know you will do it." These are basic, simple things of assertiveness, without necessarily pushing people all over. But a simple word of recognition will make sure that the people will give you their best. Now, being assertive will also help you to put forth your ideas. Passive people are likely not to be that successful, because they quail in at a small resistance. They may not want people to see them to be aggressive, because most of the time people don't know the thin line, or we don't appreciate the thin line between assertive and aggression. So people want to avoid and stay in their corner. And when you become that passive, how do you put your views, opinions, and your ideas across board? So an assertive leader will have the ability to put his ideas before his people. It strengthens bonds in relationship, as I've already said. Now, it leaves a very good and positive memories with staff. Very, very important. And a staff that has been understood by a boss in a way to meet a deadline. For instance, if there was a need to meet a deadline and your staff closes at 5 o'clock, the staff gets home at 9 o'clock, which means he stays very far. A leader that is assertive will not just command that I need the thing, you need to stay beyond 5 o'clock and do it. What the leader will do is to tell the subordinate that I am prepared to drop you off today. What an assertive leader that will be. That lady is going to do the work, give you whatever you need, but he still feels happy because he has seen that this is a leader who cares about me. This is a leader who knows that I may not probably be able to get home safely, and has thought about me even into my home. This is a very good assertive leader. And when you do that, people go that extra mile without force. You know, we can talk of importance of assertiveness in so many ways. Discretionary behavior goes up. You don't ask people, they do what they have to do, they do extra. Productivity goes up, well-being and resilience. People are happy, sick leaves goes down. I mean, absenteeism goes down, presenteeism is improved, and all those. There are a lot to achieve. But these people are happy. When you are not there, they feel your presence. It's not because you are too lenient and whatever, but you see, an assertive leader wants this cap, which is 100 meters away. Anything I will do to get this cap is what is needful. And you do that without being assertive. You get people to what? Really around you most of the time, right? It opens up many opportunities and honest people to you. Okay. But when you assert, people really open up and become very honest. Quickly, I want us to then look at some of the basic characteristics, because of time, some few characteristics of an assertive leader. This means if you are not asserting well, these are some of the characters. Now, if your boss is not being assertive, these are the things that you can easily pick up, and you find a way. Probably you drop us a hint so that we come for training. They are normally open to other alternatives, right? Is there only one way? There is no way. A leader can tell somebody, a subordinate can say, boss, I think when we do this, so don't tell me there's another way. When did you assume office here? Very intimidating. When I even employed you, you were the leader of the unemployment youth in Ghana. You now want to challenge my authority. Do they sound intimidating? Now, because of time, I want us to quickly link this to aggressiveness. Because an assertive leader will not sound intimidating. An assertive leader will not belittling you of some help he has given you already. Okay. Now, that means an aggressive leader will be doing the opposite.
Okay, just hold that thought for me. I want Ikea to also share some thoughts, and then we'll get interactive. I promise to open the phone lines early today. So just hold those thoughts for me. I'm sure that we'll come to them at some point in the conversation. Ikea, we want to hear your voice. you are in the business, you are in the market, you run the day to day, you interface these people. Okay, so it's not all theory, it's not all policies, and it's not all hypothetical. My first question to you: how practical is this? And these are just general thoughts, really. How practical is this discussion on emotional intelligence within the business space? Seeing as you've interfaced hundreds of business startups and all that, how does it play in that space for you, just very briefly?
It does play a lot. A lot of the things Mr. Addison is talking about is very true.
Right.
For example, today's topic about being assertive. Let me first say shout out to all the members of Melvix Business Platform.
Yeah, your girl is in the studio.
Yes. I love them a lot, and I thank them for being with me all this time. Quickly to what Mr. Addison was saying about being assertive. In the business space, people relate to people who are confident. They want to know that you are very sure about what you are saying. And so when you are able to show that you are very confident about what you are saying, but you are not aggressive, they tend to bond well with you. It helps you get a lot of customers. Because when you are selling to someone and you are not sure about your own product, it tells the person that he or she can trust you. But the confidence you show lets the person know that you are sure about your product, and that motivates the person to buy from you. But in another way, if you do it aggressively, it just tells the person that you are hungry for money. Nobody wants to be sold to. People don't want to buy. So when you make it look very obvious that you are ready to sell to the person, it puts the person off. But when you do it in a very confident manner, calmly and respectfully, it motivates the person to buy from you. The same way, when customers give you complaints and then you just listen but do not do anything about it, it tells them that you don't care about them. And so being assertive means that you listen to the people and then you do something about what they are telling you. I always tell people that when customers give you complaint, you should be thankful to those people because they tell you what is wrong with your business. And the earlier you start fixing what is wrong with your business, the more better your business does. So when people tell you that I don't like this about your business, there is something truthful about what they are saying. Look for that truthful thing and fix it. When you fix it, get back to them, say thank you, and let them know that it's fixed. And that is where they realize that you are being assertive. Now, another way that assertiveness is very practical, and why I agree with Mr. Addison, is that when you're looking for sponsorship and funding in the business world, nobody would give you his or her money when they realize you are not confident. So I always tell people that if you want somebody to follow you, even people who want to volunteer for you and work for you for free, nobody will follow you when you are not confident of what you want.
When you are not confident of what you want, just hold that thought for me. We'll come back to you. Time check in the studio, 39 minutes past the hour. We want to open the phone lines, but today is Mr. Addison's birthday, and we're celebrating Ghana Month here at Yaw FM. So we'll take a quick listen to this track. This one is Adia Pena by Kojo Entry. When we come back, we open the phone lines, and then we get interactive. Let's take a quick listen. We'll be right back. Just tuned in, this is Masterclass right here on your superstation Joy 99.7. So, do you have any motor vehicle of any kind? If you do, then I have some good news for you. Gore's new Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 leaves are the best engine oils for your vehicle. They are specially engineered engine oils which efficiently work on all your modern petrol and diesel engines. They clean, they protect, they reduce fuel consumption, and they prolong oil change intervals, as well as enhance your engine performance right from when you start up till when you switch off. So go to any Gore filling station today and grab the new Gore Super Synthetic 5W20 and 5W30 engine oils for superior vehicle performance. Goyle, they say good energy. Goyle, Yenara, Yedia. We go straight to the phone lines. Numbers to call 0302216541. That's 0302216541. You can also send us a comment if you're driving. We want you to arrive alive, so by all means do park before you send us a text. Don't text while you drive, but send us a comment if you're parked or if you're listening from your room or from your office on 0244-340-437. That's 0244-340-437. Otherwise, give us a call on 0302216541. So I want to come back to you, Ikea, just to ask another question. You know, sometimes people say that if I'm not upset, I can't say what I want to say. So sometimes you find that even with the boy's voice, you know, it's like when we're going for an engagement day or something, or, you know, want to talk to somebody, Charlie, we have to down a few things before, you know, people want to get really upset before they can express themselves, or, you know, they need to hire a lawyer like we usually say. What would you say to people like that who are listening? What is the right thing to do?
The ability to master your emotions and be able to talk out loud whilst you are calm shows how powerful you are. It takes courage. It takes confidence. It takes people who are powerful to be able to calm their anger down and still talk as if nothing happened. And politicians have mastered that game very much. So you see them very angry. Somebody says something that they should be very angry, but they are able to keep calm and respond in a very calm manner. Truth is, people admire people who do that because it's not easy to do that. So if you are able to show that power in front of people you are selling to, in front of people you are looking for funding from, in front of people you want to work for, they see that you are a matured person. They see that they can trust you with their money. They see that they can trust you with their business. They see that they can trust whatever it is you are producing, whether being product or service, and they are ever ready to do business with you. So people who say they can't keep calm but think that going radical is what will help them, they need to learn to calm down their emotions. Until they are able to master that, it will be difficult for them to stay in the business world because it's frustrating.
Yeah, it is, but see, I'm sorry to be harping on it, but for some of those people, because they cannot express themselves unless they're absolutely upset and they make a mess of everything, then they don't talk about the issue at all, and it's niggling. It's there. It's in your face. You're working with someone that you know they're getting on your last nerve. You're probably the superior, and they work with you. You give them assignments, they won't do it. They do what they want to do. They are practically, the rules have changed. You are now the follower, the person is leading, and you're expected to be responsible for the team. So they neglect to deal with the issue because they can't talk about it unless they are upset. For someone like that who's listening, let's just hit on that again. I just want to hit on that again so that people can pick up some learning points from that. How do you deal with situations like that?
The last sentence I made, business itself is frustrating. Everybody gets upset. What works for me, when I get very upset, I go home, stand in front of my mirror, and pour all the anger onto my mirror.
Let me just... Is it because there's no mirror at work? I'm just using you.
And then when I get back to you, I'm all smiling. It's very important to master that. It's good to find a way of keeping calm when everybody is around, because that shows how powerful you are. You see, people know that it's difficult to do that. That is why they admire people who are able to do it. And when you are able to do that, it helps you gather some amount of admiration.
Right.
And people trust that even when they hand over something valuable to you, in the middle of all difficulties, you would still
in
be
crisis.
able to hold your grounds and deliver. But when they see that you can easily lose it, it's not easy for them to trust you with things that are valuable to them.
Wow, things that are valuable to them. Time checking is 48 minutes past the hour of 1. We're interactive now. Numbers to call 0302216541. This is Masterclass on your Superstation Joy 99.7. We're still on the discussion on emotional intelligence, and today we're dwelling on assertiveness. Assertiveness. What are your thoughts about assertiveness? How have you asserted yourself in your field of endeavor or not? Share those thoughts with us. Pick up the phone, give us a call, 0302216541. Otherwise, send us a comment on 0244340437. Ms. Addison, you said something when you were giving your delivery. You said assertiveness is the new aggressiveness. It sounds cliche. It's nice. It means that now the world is changing. So instead of being aggressive and intimidating everybody and shouting everybody down, be assertive, yes, and get your job done, but don't kill everybody in the process. Let me ask this question: does being assertive necessarily mean that you are stubborn to the point where you do not yield to logical reasoning? Because I asked that question because you made that point about standing your ground, but sometimes in the context of the discussion, logical reasoning does not agree with your position. There was an example on this show where we had members of the KIC Agritech Challenge, and they shared an example. They said, listen, we're supposed to make a certain product. The raw material was available, and so the supervisor said, make double the amount so that when new orders come in. But he wasn't sure the new orders were going to come in. And the guy said, if we make it now, we can store the raw material for an extra 1 month. But if we make it now, it will not keep as of that time. And if the orders don't come in, we would have lost as a company. The guy insisted. So they did it. And of course, the orders didn't come in time. When the orders came in, the thing had gone bad. And they also didn't have raw material. So I come back to my question. Does being assertive as a leader mean being stubborn to the point where you do not yield to logical reasoning?
That is a big no.
That's a straightforward answer, isn't it?
Straightforward answer. I think we've shared on this I think last week or two, when I said there is the need for a leader to kowtow to superior.
You usually use a certain phrase, compromise. I forgot the second word, but you use a certain phrase today.
That is the
constructive compromise. That's what you said.
That is the win-win situation. And you remember, I also said that you need to be sure. In being sure, this particular example, you could see that the technical sureness, if there's a word like that, wasn't that complete because the people were sure that the delivery, the order may come or may not come. You get my point. So based on their own understanding of the market, I think you should have listened to advice. But you see, another way to some of this assertiveness. At the end of it, a leader would then bear the cost of this, decision. So why don't you admire a new revelation that will really allow you to make the correct decision? So it's a big no. You may believe in something. If it's even there's a spiritual aspect to it, you must still sound logical in the first place, right? So it's a big no.
Let me come to you.
Let me add that standing on your grounds does not take you out of logic. It shouldn't take you out of logic. You get my
It should still be within the confines of logical reasoning.
That is it. Very, very important.
Right. Okay, let me come to you. In your practical experience with the businesses and the startups that you've mentored, how do they handle the issue where, for example, a junior person is being, let's say, maltreated by a senior person? And so, most often than not, you're not allowed to express your opinion because, number one, the business is not for you. Number two, they've done you a favor by giving you a job. Or so they think. How should a junior person express displeasure to a senior person without, using emotional intelligence? Let me put it that way. Without getting feedback like, where were you when I built the business? Very antagonizing statements like that. How does a junior person express displeasure of maltreatment, for example, to a senior person without the risk of probably losing their job?
You see, when you are confident about something, you are not scared of being challenged.
Even if you'll be hungry afterwards.
As soon as you start being scared of being challenged, it means you're not confident, because truth always stands. So if I'm saying something and I'm sure that what I'm saying is correct, if other people come in to challenge me, because I am confident, I have to keep calm for them to express themselves, and then right from what they are saying, I'll be able to pinpoint to them that this is what I mean, and you see, you are wrong because this and that you are saying is not true.
Let me make it easier for you. So let's do a quick role play. Okay, I have a caller on the line. Let's do the call, and then we'll come back to you. Good afternoon. You're welcome to Masterclass.
Yeah, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm well, thank you, my brother. Your name, where you're calling from?
Yes, my name is Omusunu from Domabe.
Oh, my brother, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm
good,
fine.
good. Talk to me.
Okay. You see, in Ghana here, sometimes when you stand for your right or other people's right, people think that you are difficult.
It's not just Ghana, my brother. They have killed people for standing for their right. You remember Ken Saro-Wiwa?
People think you are difficult. People think you are being too low. People think that sometimes you are being like you know all. So what happens like this? How would you go about your
right
negotiations or demands and whatever? Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Please keep listening. He wants to know, and I think you're answering the question already, right? So let's just add his question to the answer you're giving. How do you deal with situations like that in your negotiations, in dealing with people where you don't want them to think you are too known? It's not that you are not confident too, but Charlie, you have children, you have a wife. You know, when people say things to you like, you keep talking, I know where your son goes to school. I mean, when they start saying things like that, you know.
You see, when people start saying things like that, it simply means that they are sometimes scared of you. Sometimes when people see that you have the power they do not have, they try to use fear to make you keep quiet. Other times, it's simply because of how you do express yourself. Some people, in trying to express themselves, become so loud that they try to outshine their master. No matter what you do, never try to outshine your own master. Let the master always feel good about himself. Let him know that he's still on top of his or her game. And then in a nice way, you try to let the master that this is what you think. So if you are a follower, you have the right to express yourself, but you do it tactfully and using your brains.
Ms. Addison, let's try this. Role play.
Good.
So just yourself, have a soliloquy. You are the junior one. There's a senior person. He's treated you very badly, but you want to be able to point it out to him without losing your job.
Good.
Just 10 seconds. Can you just role play that for us?
Yes. What you have to do is to empathize.
No, don't tell us. Role play it. So you're talking to your boss.
Boss.
I'm doing this so that people can practically
really
understand what we're talking about. Yeah.
Boss, I understand the frustration that you've gone through. I know things might have gone very bad, but I also did my best. Unfortunately, the light went out, and the whole night I couldn't make any headway. If there's the need for me to do it now and even extend other hours or days to do that, I'm prepared to do that. I'm simply very sorry for that. You need to make sure that your boss really get to know that you appreciate the amount of torture or disappointment that he has faced because of that.
Okay, so that's showing empathy. It's
very,
brilliant
very
what
good.
you've just done, but let's bring it to telling him about a behavior of his that affects you negatively.
Yeah. What you have
it's a difficult thing. People almost always avoid it.
Good.
So I want them to learn here on Masterclass today.
Good.
Mr. Addison role played it for them.
Good.
This is how you should do it. Dealing with a difficult boss who can sack you.
Good.
In the afternoon when he hasn't eaten lunch. Mr. Addison, 10 seconds.
Very good. Now, you
we have only 2 minutes to go. So
you simply have to let you go to the boss. A very difficult.
So you are talking to him now.
Boss, this morning I know you were a bit angry with me, but what you said in presence of the junior ones has really affected me, and it's going to be very difficult for me to accept.
I think you've answered my question. Take out for today, yeah. Take out for today. If people remember nothing from today's conversation on assertiveness, what should they remember practically?
If they remember nothing, they should always keep in mind that people need to be sure about the people they are following. People need to be sure about the products they are buying. People need to be sure about who they are investing into. So if you have nothing, always be sure that you are sure of what you are offering to the world.
Right. Very wonderful thoughts there. Ms. Addison, take out for today.
Yes, leaders. A simple word, leadership, means there are other people
Following
below you who have to do something. So the best way to get them on board is to assert and not to be aggressive.
Okay, I'm tempted to ask you one last question. I have some 30 seconds left. What is the role of body language in being assertive?
Yes, the role of the body language should be clear and understandable. That if you need to smile, you need to. If you need, the face needs to be squeezed. The voice, all must be inappropriate. That's the simple word I will
But I'll take you back. At the beginning of this conversation, you mentioned that emotions invoke behavior or is expressed in behavior. Maybe you've just received very bad news. You've lost a member of your family. You're very sad or you're very upset. You've just received some very bad news. Someone walks into your office to tell you that they don't like the way you talk to them. Bad timing. They don't know that.
Yeah, you don't know what
your body language is that you are sad.
Yeah.
But you have to deal with this. Sometimes you don't control your body language.
Yes.
Talk to me about that, about that scenario.
Yeah, those people, if they are able to let you know that they were disappointed with the body language, you need to let them know what might have necessitated that. It's very, very important.
Even though you don't have the presence of mind to do that?
No, at that moment you may not, right? So the body language may show very negatively. But in the situation, they come back and let you know that that is what they felt. You get him up. But you need to really...
As a leader, you need to suppress...
That is it.
If you can't, to the best of your ability.
You need to manage it. We don't say suppress it. You need to manage it.
Manage
but
it.
Expression. Let the people know what you're going through. It's a very, very important. We call it the self-expression, ability to express. So the anger may show, but let them know that this is what I'm very frustrated.
Right.
Yeah? When you use the word, I'm very frustrated this morning because of this and that. Anything that comes from that, they will be able to understand you. Very,
so
very
essentially, you're a leader not only of people, but also of your emotions.
Of
Thank you so much. Next week, we're back on your radio. This has been Masterclass right here on your Superstation. Next week, we're back on your radio. Continue the discussion.
And
my name, as always, is Yaw Anim Barnafo. Up next is the news at 2. We'll see you same time next week.